not play any non-engine. I would say this is all engine except Miradora, which is kind of like a Dragon Ruler, kind of like a non-engine. And they do get to go second, unfortunately for them. And Magnet Warrior will start by summoning my favorite card.
Yeah, the Sigma minus plus. This card is incredible. So the Conduction Warrior, a linear Magnum plus minus. And breathe.
Yeah.
Incredibly good card because it gets to send as cost 2 magnet monsters directly from the deck, and that's going to allow you to set up the ability to special summon down Beta, the electromagnetic warrior, using the Sigma plus effect in the graveyard, which is going to net you quite a lot of advantage from this point without even conducting a normal summon.
Yeah, and because it doesn't do the normal summon, you get to search the card you usually like to normal summon, which is the Epsilon, I believe.
Yeah, correct.
Which is it sends a monster and special summon, so it's basically like it summons from deck with a workaround. It's better than much Army Follows. But we're going to be seeing the fusion summon being done
Sigma
here
minus,
by Sigma
yeah.
minus. Sigma minus, and that is the Illusion, which is a really good monster to fusion because it can summon itself from the graveyard.
Yeah.
To go into which one of these?
So this is going to be going into the main fusion monster right now, and all of these cards were most recently released in Burst Protocol.
Yeah.
This is going to be the Conduction Warrior Plasma Magnum, and it's going to work straight into probably the best of the new cards, but
Yeah.
all of them are amazing, being the Magnet Bonding.
Yeah, Magnet Bonding is such a good card because it's either a consistency or an extender, so it can search for Conduction Warrior Linear Magnum plus minus, or it can fusion summon. So you can use both effects. So you can also set it as a way of interrupting your opponent by fusion for the other Magnet fusion in his turn.
Yeah, so it's got a lot of resource management on this one here. As you already mentioned, we're now going to see the most recent card that's been released for this deck coming out in the Maze of Muertos, and that is the Magnet Warrior Omega Plus. So we're going to be starting to see moving into the XZ's plays, probably going to be looking at Gallant Granite or Dugarais, which is exactly what we're going to be seeing here.
So what are you trying to see with Dugarais? Just drawing more non-engine, you assume?
Yeah, so you draw a bit more non-engine, but you also get to get the magnets that are currently stuck on the field back out. So obviously in normal Yu-Gi-Oh! You'll be able to link these monsters off, but because you don't have that capability, you want to utilize those level 4s where at all possible, and Dugarais is one of the best ways to be able to get those materials back off of the field. And then the only thing that's a little bit of an issue is the Dugarais kind of gets stuck there because it's not a rock, it's not quite like Gallant Granite, and there's not a huge amount you can do to shift it off the field, bar the fact that they all become Earths thanks to the fusion monster.
Yeah, but you can make the... Is it XYZ Armor Fortress on top of it?
Correct, yeah.
It was just what's happening here, right? So he makes XYZ Armor Fortress, and he they're going to search the trap, which is the
So this is the
full armor.
full armor XZs. This basically just opens you up to a very good route of being able to turn that Dugarais, which would have just stuck there, into the full armored Dark Knight Lancer, just giving you another form of disruption against your opponent. And this is actually quite an interesting magnet build because there is no super polymerization. This could have been a change due to the most recent updates in the points because super polymerization itself didn't massively change, but most of the targets like your Gorora and your Mud Dragon did get additional points added onto them, being 4 points apiece. But that still means that in the mirror match, super polymerization could be very, very good to get you into one of your two options, being either the Flux Ocean Field or your Conduction Magnet Warrior, your Conduction Warrior Plasma Magnum as well.
Yeah, we see a very cool interaction here, which is the Omega Plus being able to destroy the level 7.
Yep.
And that card, when it's destroyed, gets added back to the hand. So this way you basically get to keep a resource by using the one in the graveyard. Illusion has just come out now by banishing 2. And we've seen a copy of Magnet Bonding be added to the hand by discarding the Duotarian. So this is a pretty impressive board. The Beta has a capability of tagging himself off, and 5 back row.
Wow. Yeah, Nolan is probably playing that there's an evenly matched summer in that deck that maybe doesn't belong, but there is a lot of interactions on this field right now already. You've already kind of picked up on the Beta. You've got to remember that the Omega as well has the ability to tribute itself off. It will get banishment, it leaves the field, but it will put a monster on the field face down.
Yep.
You've got the Conduction Magnet Warrior, which is making all the monsters on the field into Earths, and then that is going to be very important for the Illusion, the Magna Warrior, because this one has a quick effect to target a monster your opponent controls. You can either destroy it, or if you targeted an Earth monster, which with the Fusion monster in play it will be, you can technically take control of it instead as well.
I see, so it's like a crackdown effect. But we do see the best Dragon Ruler starter here, which is the new Light Baby Ruler, Spectral Dragon Ruler Flickers. So he discarded, which I believe is an Arm Dragon, and you get to search for 2 Dragon Ruler cards.
Correct. So this was the Arm Dragon level, Thunder level 3, I believe, that was discarded on this one. I could be right. It could be the level 5.
Yeah.
But all of the Arm Dragons do get additional effects and can really help you out because they're also going to be Wind Dragons as well.
Yeah, which is like probably the best type because Tempest is one of the strongest Dragon Rulers. So we search Reactant and Stream. Stream is the Wind Baby and the Earth Baby.
Yeah.
And there is a copy of Sekka's Light. So that is a deck decision by Nolan that we see. That's Pot of Greed.
Yep.
That is actually better than Pot of Greed.
But it's kind of on the same level as Pokegrid. I completely agree. It's very interesting to see this because there's a lot of times some Dragon Ruler builds do like to play Super Rejuvenation.
Yeah.
Not as much now. That's kind of evolved a little bit more. But then there's also the quick play spell card There Will Be Dragons that can be massively helpful to try and present a bit more of a field with your rank 7 XEs as well.
Yeah, so you see the second light shuffling back the Mirador. Mirador is kind of like a Dragon Ruler hand trap. It's level 7 dragon that special summons itself, so it allows you to go into those dragon plays. But not as useful here, so it's going to be traded for a new card from Sekka's Light. And now we have 7 cards in hand, and there is a lot on the field, so I'm curious to see where Nolan's going to start navigating. We seem to have used Reactant?
Yeah, so it looks like we're going to be using the Reactant. I'm assuming that the one he's putting on top is the one that is the activation.
Yeah,
the discard.
The discard I think was Armored Dragon Thunder level 7.
Okay.
Because if this card... Oh, Armored Dragon level 7 sounds really good, because if it gets sent to the graveyard, it's basically like Atlantean Dragoons for dragons.
Yeah.
And it's going to search for an Armed Dragon, so you have a way of keeping it going. We summon a Redux here. So the baby dragons, for the ones that didn't play when those cards were legal, because they're legal for a very short amount of period.
Yeah.
They're very good because they allow you to summon the Dragon Ruler without using its effect. So later in the turn, if Nolan manages to banish a Redux, he gets to search for an Earth Dragon. And he searched, was this the Pio Arm Dragon?
Yeah, so the Pile Arm Dragon was added on this one. So this one's kind of a nice extension of a level 7, and there is your favorite card around, being the Red Rose Dragon.
Yeah, so this puts so much pressure, because if you let the Synchro Summon happen, a lot of things are going to happen, and I think Alex did realize that.
Yeah.
So the full Armor XYZ gets flipped out here to make the Lancer, I think?
Yeah, I feel we're going the Lancer here. I feel that, you know, both of these decks, unlike the previous duels that we've seen, these decks are kind of decks that have been around the Genesis circuit a little bit more. Like the Magnets are quite well talked about because of how more recently they've been able to get these upgrades and how well that they can translate from modern Yu-Gi-Oh! Into Genesis. And then Dragon Rulers is one of them ones that had recently got a points decrease on the most recent updated list. And that can really be a bit of a minor change as well. Yeah. That can really enhance the understanding in the current environment.
I'm glad we got to equip the Dugaras just in case we're running out of spawn trap zones. We had too many had one empty space for a while. We can't be having that over here.
No, and it's not a single zone free, because remember, the one big thing to keep in mind is that the extra monster zone is not a zone that exists in Genesis. You only have your normal zones, which will be for your deck, graveyard, your extra deck, your field zone, and then the rest are opened up for your 5 monster zones and your 5 spell and trap zones.
Okay, so we have Book of Moon, the Redux, and attach the Red Rose Dragon. That's a very big push.
Yeah, taking away all resources.
It's really hard for the Dragon Ruler player to like re-stabilize. Dragon Ruler, they kind of like, he wants to summon this Redux and then banish this Redux, get the value back. Yeah. But now that it's face down the field, it's hard to get rid of it.
Yeah, very few ways to do that. I think the only way you can get rid of a face-down monster is to use it as fusion material. You won't be able to synchro, you won't be able to XZs, and you definitely can't link. So we're going to go for what looks like Burner.
I think it's just Double Blaster.
Double Blaster.
I think it's just Double Blaster to target the Delusion. So Blaster can discard itself and a fire to target a card on the field to destroy it.
Yep.
And that seems to be targeting the Delusion here. The thing is, the Dragon Lure effects are once per turn, so you can do either or.
Yep.
Which is going to...
So the Delusion's going to kind of... Yeah, so the Delusion's going to be able to get back the Sigma minus and the Sigma plus. Kind of a fair trade-off because it means that you don't need to worry about the Delusion's effect to do either destroy or take control, which is very, very important.
Yeah, but it's just kind of hard now, right? There's so many cards on Alex's side of the field. Nolan has 4 cards in hand. He has a Dragon Ruler engrave, but it feels like a tall ask.
It's definitely a tall ask, but we've got the arm pile dragon. This will allow it to extend a little bit. I suppose it's all going to come down to if there are anything else in the hand to push through or extend the field. I mean, some of the XZs that the Dragon Rulers can produce are very, very damaging and scary.
And they also send for cost, I believe.
Yeah.
The one that copies the effect.
Yes, there is the one that it's not the chasm.
It's chasm.
Yeah, chasms. There is a Zeus and a Typhon, though.
Ooh,
that could be a bit of a change, because...
It's an interesting point committed on Typhon, right? That's not a card you see that often.
It's not, but how easy... with how easy it is to get into your rank 7s, your rank 7s are always very, very strong as well. And is that a Sheena we've just added? Sheena's another great way to try and disrupt this field that Alex
that is true. Sheena's actually pretty strong here. So there's a piled arm dragon search to Sheena.
I think it's the pile arm dragon that does that, yeah.
And then that is the wind one, which I can't remember the name.
One of Storm?
Storm, I think Storm. I think there's Storm and Stream.
Yeah, Storm and Stream, the ones it relates to.
And that's a Tempest. So now we do have a Tempest in rotation. We have a Redux we haven't used. And, like, Nolan is asking questions of Alex here. Like, do you want to let me get into Chasm?
Yeah, I feel that one card I did see Alex have, which could be very, very big here, is Book of Eclipse.
Yeah, I guess the problem with Book of Eclipse is that it does, like, give Nolan 3 draws, and it puts you in a position you need to end the game next turn.
Yeah, I feel that there is still plays, though, because remember we've got that bonding. The bonding can be acted to fusion summons, so you can start to mitigate some of those monsters on the field.
Oh, true. But we'll do bonding first. Into Flux, probably.
Yes, I would personally 100% go into Flux. It looks like we're going to be using the Sheena to respond to return the rest of the spells and traps.
Yeah, because we do have a wind monster, so we do have the Tempest. So because the Sheena responded to a spell, it's going to bounce all the monsters. We're going to has the Sheena not resolved yet?
No, so we're not too sure.
Because the Sheena should technically have resolved before the magnet bonding, I believe.
Yes, unless there's a reason we can't reveal the Sheena. Oh, they're all Earths. It's not a wind monster.
Oh, of course, because of the fusion.
Yeah.
Oh, that is a weird interaction here.
The Conduction Warrior Plasma Magnet.
So you don't fulfill the activation requirement of Sheena because of that. And now the Flux gets to just pop one of them, I assume.
Yeah, so the Flux will return the Pile Arm Dragon back to the hand. It will also return the Beta, so that Alex has got a starter again for the next turn.
Yeah.
This is keeping Nolan off of the ability to make rank 7s. He's going to continue to try and push here.
This is like the 4th level 7 monster that enter the field. So we're going to be banishing a Reactant and a Storm to summon the Redux. So now we've used Redux and we've used Blaster.
Yeah.
In defense, because strictly defense.
Yeah.
Let's see if Alex allows him to finally touch his extra deck.
Yeah, I feel that this is where we could probably see the Book of Eclipse. I mean, I can't imagine what interactions you give Nolan that's worthwhile, and stopping the access to a rank 7 here could be massive. Because, yes, of course, I suppose you could Book of Eclipse the rank 7, but if we go into a rank 7 that either sends us cost or has an on-summon effect, it could be quite damaging here.
Yeah, there's a couple cards. So there is the Disaster Dragon Ruler of All Apocalypses.
Yeah. Which
can be a bit terrifying. Because if it has a Light, Dark, Earth, Water, and Fire, and Wind Dragon Lure as a material, it gains 4,600 attack and is unaffected by other cards' effects. So if you can get to establish that can be a win condition to all of that.
Yeah, here comes the Book of Eclipse now. I think this is quite well timed. It's going to be interesting. Nolan's going to... I suppose Nolan does make Alex work for it because the Dragon Rules aren't small in most of their stats.
Yeah, but the Magnet Warrior deck does have some ways out.
They've definitely got a lot of weight, but as you were mentioning earlier, that Book of Eclipse is going to allow Nolan to draw those 3 cards, so the pressure to finish the duel on the next turn could be quite high. And when you do have 3 fairly sizable monsters on that field that you need to clear off, Alex is then going to need to try and find 8,000 worth of damage with only technically two monsters to attack directly.
Yeah, there is this amount of pressure here, so we're going to see the Book of Eclipse resolve in the end phase. 72 Reduxes, that's 6k defense.
Very strong.
And drawing 3 cards for his troubles. So considering how strong Alex's board was, I think Nolan got pretty far into like getting his Dragon Ruler strategy.
Yeah, I mean, definitely a never give up kind of approach on this one, which is right.
No, but considering the situation, right, because Dragon Ruler has a very strong turn 3, right? Because we spent a lot of this turn like putting dragons in grave.
Yeah.
If it comes back, he has all the draws from Book of Eclipse plus all the Dragon Ruler setup. So this really puts the pressure on Alex here, like, okay, like, How do we out of them?
Yeah, and I'm looking at the attack stats on most of these monsters, and I don't think any of them right now, without an attack stat increase, is enough to get past the 2 redoxes.
Yeah, Delusion can maybe take control of one of them. If we get X Saber Gothams, that's 31.
But so this is where I find it quite interesting. Is most builds would use Gallant Granite, but it doesn't look like there's a direct way to search the Adamantipator Researcher.
Yeah, I think that Researcher is just a good card in this deck, right? It's basically kind of like a starter. You can use it to hit Kokimiru Garden. You can use it to engine. A card that might be good here is the Dark Armed Dragon of Annihilation.
Yeah.
Because if you have exactly 5 dragons, you can summon it on top of a level 5 or higher Dark.
Yeah.
But if you just have, like, you can just use level 7s as well, which might be possible if you can open up monster zones. And it's kind of like Dark Armed Dragon on a very small scale.
Yeah.
But it allows you to, like, out one of them.
It definitely lets you get past, I think you can get past both of them.
Oh yeah, because it's not once per turn. Yes.
Correct, yeah. But then to sacrifice the Dark Armed Dragon not being able to attack is probably worth the trade-off. It's then just where your... is it worth sacrificing the 2 level 7s? I feel like you kind of want to use the Flux effect to deal with 1 card as a trade-off here. And it looks like we might be going back into the round right now. So...
we hopefully have repaired the game state here.
Yeah, just trying to figure out exactly what was required. I think there was a head judge call on this one, and once we get the direct answer on that, we will let you all know.
But we still seem to be in Alex's turn, I believe.
Yeah, I feel that it was very important that Alex flipped the Conduction Magna Warrior straight up. It looks like we're going to be using the Flux straight away very well on this one, putting the Redox back to the hand, open up a space on the field.
Good, because now we can get a level 4, right?
Yeah.
Probably what we're going to do here, sure.
I mean, the other thing with the level 4 is you've got the Conduction Warrior Magna Warrior. Oh, okay. So it's the draw for turn off of Dagares.
Oh, yes.
Always remember that you need to skip your next draw phase. Luckily, very easily repairable because we were able to see exactly what card was drawn for turn, and that could be replicated. So it's also quite important not to shuffle your hand when you draw. Instantly, like you said, going into this rank 4 here, we're going to be able to trade off with the Redox as well. So we've cleared both of those off, and we still have the Conduction Warrior Sigma Minus in the hand, and that can also have the ability to gain half the attack stats of Tempest, and I feel that that might be enough to see this duel out.
Yeah, the Delusion gets to be summoned here, which is another big
be
monster,
another
right?
way.
That's 25.
I'd be able to destroy the Tempest anyway.
Yeah, we can just get in there. So it feels like it's pretty well navigated here by
I think
Alex.
Sees that.
Sees the writing on the wall. Very strong turn 1, right? Like very strong turn 1. The Magna deck does have Artifact Lens. It doesn't seem to have a use case, but this deck looks really explosive going first. Yeah,
I think going first will definitely be where this deck will shine, and it looks like we're going to be seeing. Oh, Molchomi Perulia. Ooh, okay. I don't think it's that impactful.
Yeah, because the thing with Perulia, right? Like Dragon Rulers, they can summon themselves with the hand, but now they've been Perulia, you probably are like, okay, I'm going to try my best to summon them from the deck.
Yeah, I think 100% you're going to be looking for that one. It kind of limits, it makes you second think about the Parlarm Dragon.
Yeah.
It makes you second guess anything coming directly from the hand, like a Sheena maybe, but that's probably only going to happen during your opponent's turn.
But we see here, once again, the best Dragon Ruler starter, the Spectral.
Yeah.
Which basically, also really good because it allows you to basically play around Mochavi Perulia, right? Because you're able to search like, here you'll be able to set up the Tetsudo lock if you wanted without giving any draws.
Yeah.
You'll be able to search a baby dragon and search a big dragon, discard the big dragon for the baby dragon, summon the other dragon, make a rank 7.
Yeah, and the other discard was the Armed Dragon level 5, which I believe we're resolving now.
Yeah.
Which is why I like this hybrid of these two kind of engines in the form of the Thunder Dragon, the Armed Dragons and the Dragon Rulers, is they have some great synergies.
Yeah, like with Dragon Rulers, one of those decks, you just kind of need to keep in card advantage. Right, because all your cards require another discard. So just having extra, especially Wind Dragon, so you may be able to use Tempest. Tempest can allow you to get your Red Rose Dragon. It's pretty powerful. We're going to see here how he chooses to pilot this. Alex's deck does have a lot of hand traps. And he's giving a draw here, right? That's the Pyro Armor Dragon, I believe?
Yeah, so that's the Parlarm Dragon. Obviously, Nolan feels that that's well worth the trade-off for that one draw. So kind of putting Alex's hand back to even right now. And I feel the advantage you get off the Pylon Dragon is actually really, really important, though. So
Yeah.
it's kind of worth that trade-off.
Also, like, cards in hand mean less if you can establish a floodgate, right? Which is kind of what might be happening over here with the Tetsudo plan.
Yeah, I think the Tetsudo is probably the best way of doing this. Now, the Dragon Ruler XZs themselves are very, very powerful and can really hold their own.
Yeah.
But if you add the Tetsu to it as well, that's going to really lock it down.
Also, Dragon Ruler is one of those decks that no one might not feel the need of stopping Alex completely.
Yeah.
He just needs to like do enough that he gets to get his turn 3.
Yeah.
When he has all his setup and all those dragons engraved, and he just gets to like special summon them all and maybe win the game with a disaster.
Yeah, so we're going to be using the Rox Rose Dragon here as the normal summon, giving Alex another draw on this one. And there's an Effect Veiler on the Rox Rose. Was that possibly drawn off of the Prula? That's always the risk you're going to take, I guess.
It's kind of interesting because Rox Rose is not particularly amazing here. Like, you'd rather have Red Rose, but like searching, he would have searched another card, which I guess is okay. But we're going to see here him going for Arms of Genex Return 0.
Yeah, I love this card, especially in a deck like this, because this one can negate every single attribute that is currently in the graveyard once each. Now, okay, in Magnet, it's probably not going to be as oppressive as it could possibly be, but you've got the guaranteed Earth negation already, so the first Earth effect that could be threatening to Nolan's field is going to get dealt with.
Yeah, but it's hand trap insurance, right? He has the light from Spectre, so he can like clear on like a Nibiru the Primal Being.
Correct, yeah.
By being able to banish it.
Yeah.
Also, when you banish a Dragon Ruler for this, you're able to trigger the effect to search. So by having this on the opponent's field, it allows you to banish your Dragon Rulers during their turn, trigger the effect, get more advantage, have an even stronger follow-up.
Yeah, exactly that. And I think it's kind of what I really like about the Gen X, Arms of the Gen X Return 0 as well. And we are now finally seeing Nolan perform his first Rank 7 XZ's play. Which one are we going to go for?
I'll be really surprised if it's not Chasm. Chasm is such a good card.
It's so good. So that and the Dark counterpart as well.
Yeah.
The Eclipse is very, very good.
Yeah, so Chasm is has a quick effect to detach and send a big Dragon Ruler from the extra graveyard. And the effect of this card becomes that Dragon Ruler's effect. So basically, it's a way of sending a monster from the extra graveyard, reborning a monster, destroying a card on the field, or adding a dragon.
Yeah, and I think you preemptively called this one as we were talking about the side deck. I feel that this could possibly be where we're going to see the Tatsu lock come into play. Once you kind of establish these two cards, I suppose you have that disruption you need with the Gen X being able to kind of answer most, if not all of the attributes right now that are required. And then you'd also still have the Chasm with the quick effect to still send for the destruction, the revival, or the other forms of disruption.
Yeah, so the Tetsudo lock does require both uses of Chasm, so it requires a use now and later.
Right.
But he might be able to establish an Eclipse, and then Eclipse would be like another layer of Interrupt.
Yeah.
We do see it here, so it does send the Tidal sending Tetsudo. I assume Alex got closer to the table, which would be like, oh.
Yeah.
This is really common with Archlord Christia in current.
Yes. Yeah.
Through the point system, Christia got a bit smaller.
I mean, it's definitely easy to take on this one. It's going to add another layer to the Nolan's field right here. We saw how Alex could kind of pilot his deck. Now we're going to be seeing the Redox enter the field of play.
Yeah. I guess maybe another way to... can he get another level 7? That's kind of what he wants here. I think that's a Blaster?
Yeah, Blaster.
So Blaster is probably going to combine with the Redox to make an Eclipse.
Yeah.
And then Eclipse is really good because it can negate spell trap or effects.
Yeah. So that allow you to kind of trade off with the Bonding, which I think is probably like Alex's best spell. Not the only spell, but probably the best spell on that one there.
It's also good because it trades with things that could possibly deal with the Tetsudo, right?
Yeah.
Non-engine cards, like we've seen Illusion Gate on Alex's side deck.
Very true.
You're able to use the Eclipse to negate that. Also, when this Exorcist is summoned, you can target a level 4 or lower Dragon Ruler in the grave or banish and summon a big ruler from the banishment. I don't know if he has that.
I don't think I saw... Might have seen Border. I'm not too sure.
He has a lot of banish cards because he summoned a lot of Dragon Rulers. Like, his grave is not that big, if you really think about it. The banishment is actually pretty big. But it doesn't seem to be activating that. This is the impression I'm getting. And it might be passing now to Alex. So he's presenting like, hey, I have this lock, I have this negate, I have this other negate. What you gonna do about it?
I feel you definitely have to use the Chasm like instantly as well. I feel if you wait to the main phase, that's when Alex can get the stronger monster onto the field. The Conduction, Magnet Warrior, Sigma minus And here we see the lockdown.
So now, yeah, we have Tetsudo, we have then a gate, which I assume basically the main types. It's nice that he detaches the Redox, so now we have Redox. We're gonna see a magnet bonding here, and it's not a response. Oh, I guess because it's searching, right? It's not
yeah, I
summoning.
feel you kind of... Oh, there's a Book of Eclipse in that hand, though.
Yes. Oh, that's another reason the Eclipse is really important, right? The Eclipse is a negate for the Book of Eclipse.
Yeah, it will pretty much... Yes, you don't...
Yeah.
I think...
That's a mouthful.
It probably comes down to... I mean, you don't worry the search, right? You don't fear... If you're Nolan, you don't fear the search.
Yeah, because you know the searches here are basically cards you can summon under the Tetsudo. That Eclipse is committing to negating things that would deal with Tetsudo.
Correct. I also feel that... Because you can't fusion either. So that really does limit the bonding.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're going to start off with the beta. I don't think beta's much of a threat here, but you could... Maybe if you... The fact that you've used up your normal summon, possibly using the Genex to use the Earth Negate on this is probably going to be really worth the advantage, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think it's... maybe not, because like the main thing beta searches is the one that allows you to fusion someone, right? Which is a Sigma minus.
But you can't fusion someone because you're locked under
yeah,
the toxic,
exactly.
I suppose...
I don't know what... But I guess you do get rid of the body of the beta, which might enable, for example, to play around like an Element Spirit Researcher.
Yeah, very,
because
very
there's
true.
no rocks on the field. So you do see a Book of Eclipse, which I assume is going to get negated by Eclipse.
I would be very, very surprised. Yeah, and then Alex scoops that up. I think as soon as that happens, it's whether, Nolan lets that...
So you can banish it safely.
Again. Well, I guess we're about to find out exactly what did get sided in, what got added, and which one of these duelists is going to be the winner of round number 6 at the Genesys UK Challenge. Starting off with that Nibiru Guardian, giving instant installation against either monster activation from the hand, maybe something like a Nibiru, but I feel with the Dragon Ruler, that's probably going to be a bit more installation against other interactions.
Yeah, but that Guardian is really good, because the Guardian represents 2 extra interrupts, right? It's an interrupt now, like the first use of it, and then the other one when you're reborn into the flux.
Yeah.
And we do see the big guy, double circular reborns, beta. Beta's gonna get your search here. Usually it's a Sigma minus here.
Yeah, I feel that he probably wants to... You still need to go down the same line we saw in duel number 1. You go for the Sigma minus, unless he already has that. But that's going to open up the door to the fusion play. The fusion play then usually not tail spins, but like warms up into the Tellusion play, which being able to take control of monsters can be quite useful as well.
Yeah, that time he did have a lot of extra level 4s, which I don't know if he has here.
Yeah.
So that allowed the Dugaris into full armor XYZ play, which is pretty good because it's like an extra interrupt and 2 draws. But we seem to be fusing with the beta. I think his hand is very non-engine heavy. I think I saw a Nibiru and a Veiler.
Yeah.
Into the main fusion monster, which will search another copy of Magnet Bonding.
Yeah. So there are a couple of other different spells you can utilize for the magnets this one, but it doesn't look like Alex plays them. Definitely see as he goes through that deck there that he has got the shared ride in there. With the magnet bonding, I think you're definitely going to try and prioritize getting access to the flux. Like you said, the one big thing you've got to remember is you need to reveal that rock for the Nibiru Guardian during the end phase.
You know it's a rock?
But I think you'll be absolutely fine.
Nibiru the Primal Being.
Hey, I've got Nibiru like threatening Nolan. It's coming, it's coming.
What you gonna do about it? You're not gonna summon?
I always find that quite interesting though, because obviously the biggest fear is the fear of the unknown.
Yeah.
But then also I feel that just a bigger fear is like, I've got it. Can you actually play around it?
Sometimes the knowledge is the problem. Like even like this is a big thing in advance, which was like Mitsurugi decks would go Granite Gallant, search Nibiru.
Yeah.
You know it's there.
Yeah.
But like, you're not gonna summon? Are you gonna just pass and then they win? But you know it's there. So we'll see how Nolan navigates this, because Nibiru seems really rough here. Also, Nibiru Guardian is really strong, now that I'm thinking about it, because of a lot of the effects are -1s, right?
Yeah.
Things like the Light Dragon Ruler, all the baby Dragon Rulers are basically -1s. So if you're able to double Nibiru Guardian, that is a lot of pressure.
Yes, big time. I think Alex is just kind of considering this now. He's got the Nibiru in hand. He's got one spell, which I believe was either a Shared Ride or a Book of Eclipse. And then we do have the Effect Valerian and Nibiru. So both of those kind of giving a little bit of complication, because Alex is probably eyeing up, does he make the rank 4 XEs now? Nope, he's just going to play it safe and banish the Sigma minus directly from the deck to go into Tellusion.
Yeah, so this is a very strong end board. He doesn't need to review there for the Guardian, which will really good for the ominous.
Yeah.
So that is a lot of interaction being represented by this board. Lava Golem could be a very good card here.
Yeah.
as a way of like trading multiple for one. Like when you get a scenario like this where Alex has Nibiru, Alex has negates, you need to not trade 1 for 1, right?
Yeah.
His cards are going farther than yours are.
No, I don't feel that a trade 1 for 1 here would be enough because at the moment, each of these monsters that are currently on Alex's field are definitely serving a bit of a problem. You've got the negation in the form of the Guardian. You've got the return to the hand in the form of the Flux. The only thing that might be considered, I would personally say, is the weakest on Alex's field is going to be the Flux. And we do see a single Kaiju. And if this gets followed up with a Lava Golem, what's better than 1? Well, 3.
Yeah, so this is really important here because it allows him to use the Tempest effect. So without being afraid of Quagmire Garden. Does Flux Reborn on summon?
Yeah, Flux Reborn's on summon.
Okay, so we can't summon Quagmire Garden again, I believe, because there's no back row.
Correct,
so
yeah, there's no additional bonding for Alex to utilize here, unfortunately, but going straight for the Spectral.
Yeah, so Spectral is the guy. Like, he by himself sets up the whole situation. And now, there are a number of interrupts, but it's not like a crazy number of interrupts.
Yeah, I think this has got slightly weaker as well, because what I was trying to get to with the Flux is the Flux needs to return another, I believe it's another rock monster on the field to the hand.
Mm-hmm.
So you kind of want to use Delusion first to destroy or take control.
Yeah.
And then you want to use Flux. So
Yeah.
the way that the interactions need to be used by Alex are in a very specific order here.
Mm-hmm.
And that could very well be a big changer here too.
Yeah, so we'll see how he's going about this. Spectral searching stream. No, stream.
Yeah, stream.
No.
Lightning, sorry.
No, it's not lightning. It's the water one.
Yeah,
stream.
Yeah,
It's stream and storm. I keep tripping them up.
It can't be stream. He doesn't play. Wait, no. Yeah, you're right. Sorry.
It's stream. It's stream. And the dark one. So the dark one we haven't seen yet.
Yeah, we haven't seen this one. So this is the Nebulous.
Yeah, it discard Des and a dragon or dark. It's usually a dragon because there are many darks. Target 2 for banished dragon rulers with different attributes and special summon them.
That's pretty good.
So this can be kind of like maybe a way of beating Nibiru the Primal Being.
True.
If you're able to like force something that forces the Nibiru, and after that happens, you have enough field to go Nebulous and make a rank 7. I feel like one of the win conditions for this deck going second is going to be XYZ summoning into that very powerful Disaster.
Yeah, I think Disaster will be one of the ways to kind of push it on from here. It's very rare that we're going to see... I mean, we're seeing the Pile-on Dragon right now. The Kaiju was a great kind of start to shift it a little bit into Nolan's favor. It's kind of going to be interesting to see where we do develop. There are some other XZs, rank 7s that could be quite useful here. I don't think there's any use in... I mean, it would be quite funny if you go Big Eye to take back your own Kaiju so that you can't be Kaiju'd on the follow-up, but...
That's pretty funny. A scenario that might happen here is Delusion takes a monster, right? So we might be seeing a Big Eye to take the guy that Delusion takes.
Yeah, yeah, that would definitely be... There's the Sheena.
But we once again cannot activate the Sheena because of the...
Correct.
As we've learned last game, game 1.
I'm hoping that Nolan has remembered that.
I think it might be the only target for that, so he might just be adding as card advantage.
Yeah, very. I mean, it's still good to have because as soon as you get rid of the Conduction Magnet Warrior, you're kind of free to use that Sheena.
Yeah, and we're going to use Stream. One thing that we've seen from Nolan, he has sided the Twin Twisters over the Sekka's Light, and he's really punishing him here, right? Because this Twin Twister has no targets, and Sekka's Light would have been 2 new cards.
Yeah, I think he might have even reduced... I think it looked like there was more spells in the deck when he just shuffled through there.
I think it's very unlikely he has both Twin and Sekka's. It's probably a 3-3 trade.
You'd be surprised. He definitely has opened up Twin Twisters, but I'm pretty sure there's also Sekka's Light in there as well.
Fair enough. Sometimes you draw one, sometimes you draw
another. Oh, you never know. Sometimes that could be a big change, but I completely agree with you. Having that Twin Twisters in the hand right now, you're probably wishing that it was Sekka's Light.
Yeah, but he's allowing him to get into Chasm. Because he could have used interactions here, right? There was a possibility of using Delusion?
Delusion could have taken control, yes, and the Flux could have returned.
Yeah, but Chasm is a beast here, right? Like, Chasm lets him to get into a Dragon Ruler he hasn't used yet, and use that first effect. So he could, for example, like, send a Blaster, target one of them to destroy, and you have a Blaster engraved.
Yeah, I think that's probably what we're going to see here, and I think that's the one important thing of the Chasm is do you go... Oh, here comes the Delusion in response. I would probably be trying to take out the Conducting Magnet Warrior so that the Sheena then becomes live again.
Interesting. This is Chasm is all effect, actually. And he has to detach. So what's happening here?
So it looks like the Delusion used its effect to tribute itself off to bring back Sigma minus and Sigma plus.
Okay, and now we'll see the Cosm dumping the blaster. I thought Illusion was gonna take control of a monster.
Yeah, I could have assumed. I would have thought that Illusion would have kind of tried to do something in a form of interaction on that one, but maybe it's one or the other.
Yeah, he's just going for follow-up here. Because they are all Earth, right? Because of
yeah. So when your opponent activates a card or effect, quick effect, target one once your opponent controls, destroy it. So that would have been the Chasm, which I think is no, it hasn't been destroyed.
I guess destroying Chasm doesn't actually have that much value, right? Because it already did its due. Like it already is gonna be sending the monster. Oh, it sends for effect.
Yeah, I mean, but if you're gonna tribute off the Illusion anyway,
might as well. Because you can use both.
Once per turn, when your opponent activates a quick effect, target one once your opponent tries to destroy it, or if you take control of it instead. And then during your opponent's turn, I can't think of why you wouldn't want to do that. Maybe there's something else that we can ask a little bit later on. But
I mean, it allows Nolan to keep playing here, though, right? So it's really strong from Nolan because he's going to be able to banish this blaster, which has not used its effect. And I believe Nolan has not used his normal summon.
Correct. I think one big thing we need to remember, though, is that there are two very good effects of the Sigma minus and the Sigma plus. One allows you to negate the attacks when two Earth monsters battle, and the other one lets you direct the attacks to where you wish it to be.
Yeah, but one thing that's going to happen, I believe might happen here, we don't know the Nibiru the Primal Being in Ivan's hand, but banishing the blaster might allow him to search for a new card from Mesa Muertos that he's playing, which is this Dragon Starter, Draconic Warrior.
Yeah. Which would be a very good normal summon, like you've mentioned that we haven't used that yet.
Yeah, so Draconic Warrior is, I assume it looks like his blaster target for me. I'm trying to figure out what's happening here. But it could be like a way, but it's kind of annoying because he knows the Nibiru the Primal Being, right, as we established. So how do you deal with that? So he's going to summon the blaster itself rather than use the effect from Banished.
Yeah, I think this is probably going to come down to if Alex feels that Nolan knows about the Sigma minus and the Sigma plus battle negation, battle redirection, then we let it be and you kind of just control the field that way. But the Nibiru kind of... It depends on what else Alex has, because this Nibiru is going to set everything back to basics, and that Nibiru token is going to be massive. Yeah,
that is a very, very big Nibiru token. But letting Alex go into rank 7 here is really spooky, right? Because there's a lot of options here. There's Big Eye, which can take control of one of the monsters back, so like of plus or minus. That would help him break through it. There's a possibility of going into Disaster. And we do see the Nibiru the Primal Being be activated then.
Yeah,
so that is... Right way. I'm not doing the math on that token. It's big. There's like an 8 monster Nibiru, 4 dragons.
That's the definition in Yu-Gi-Oh! When it gets to a point where you don't want to go past, you go, it's big, okay? If I can't out it, you probably attack directly.
If it connects its game, like nothing matters. Like the stats, it could be infinity for all that's important at this game, right?
Absolutely crazy how strong that token is. So we've still got 7 minutes left on the clock, or just over 7 minutes on this one.
Oh, he can reborn it right because of the
fusion monster.
Not the fusion monster, the Sigma.
Oh, Sigma minor. Yes, apologies.
So that's pretty strong here because at least it gives him some level follow-up. But it's weird. Nolan knew about this Nibiru, right? It wasn't a surprise.
Yeah, so he must have been able to try and navigate around it, I guess. Or maybe he was hoping that Alex would have dropped the Nibiru a little bit sooner than he actually did.
Yeah. He doesn't have that many Dragon Lure effects left, I feel like. Like, how many times has he banished to summon?
Quite a lot, to be honest.
Yeah.
I think right at the end, we saw the Chasm, which was 1 Dragon Ruler plus the drill. So we've got...
Oh, so we do have the Darkness, though.
Yeah, so this is going to get us 2 back.
It's what we mentioned at the start, right? Like, after Nibiru, maybe Darkness can be like this, the release valve.
Well, he saw the Nibiru. Maybe that's why he directly searched out the Nebula as well.
Nebula, not the Cosm, yeah. But yeah, this is really good here, because now he gets to maybe control this game.
Yeah, what kind of rank 7 would you consider? Like, the Dark Arm Dragon is kind of nice, but he wouldn't be able to attack. It would probably leave Alex with, I think, 1 or 2 cards.
Yeah, he does have Zeus access, so he could go for some line like that. Does he have enough? Wait. Can we make a Disaster that's unaffected by everything?
Target 4 level 7 Dragon Ball monsters in your graveyard, Island Bashment, attach them to this card. Banish all monsters from your opponent's field and graveyard with the same attribute as this card's materials. You can only use this effect of Apocalypse once per turn. While this card has Light, Dark, Earth, Water, Fire, and Wind, Dragon Ball, and monsters as material, it gains 4,600. I mean, you'd be getting a Fire and a Wind just by making it right now, and you can get the final 4.
But how do you get light and dark? Oh, we can get light, we can get dark. So we can get light from Chasm,
Yeah.
but we don't have Eclipse. So you need
okay.
Eclipse because that is... Oh, no, it's only level 7, so the XYZs don't work. So I think we're going for Annihilation.
Yeah.
I guess you can... Annihilation can attack first? No? I don't remember. I think it can. Terraform it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not too sure what you would advance out of that though, because you still need to detach to destroy the Nibiru. The only thing you'd keep, I guess, would be 1 material, which is worth it.
Yeah, because I was thinking you could like attack over the Sigma. The Sigma minus, destroy the Nibiru, and then make Zeus on top of the Dark Armed.
Yeah, that would give you the most resilience on this one here.
Yeah, so we got a React in here, which is good because that's like follow-up.
Yeah.
I think we can't play, I assume, but maybe we can play.
Yeah, so we'll be able to clear off that Nibiru. It does put a bit of pressure on Alex now, though, because we have to get rid of that Nibiru token.
We do have our Twin Twisters. Might as well.
Yeah, I mean,
might as well.
Just in case. I'm not sure what Alex could put into play here.
Okay, there's only 3 cards. Oh, but there's a beta.
So, yeah, it looks like a beta, a Veiler, and a Ghost Bell.
Oh, I think that beta was a clutch drop because I think he did not have engine.
No, I don't think he did. It was just the Ghost Bell and the Effect Veiler.
So the beta here is basically gets us going, right? Because we are able to search the Sigma minus?
Correct. You'd grab the Sigma minus. You would use the Sigma minus to fusion summon. You would go into the Conduction Magnet Warrior Fusion. That would grab you the Bonding.
Oh, there's a huge draw here. There's a very well navigated turn by Nolan.
Yeah.
Even through the Nibiru that he knew.
Yeah.
But we have 4 minutes down the clock here, so Alex needs to play at a steady pace. He might be worried about the set card because from his point of view, right? Like, he saw Sekka's Light game 1.
Yeah, but then you don't know exactly what else it could be, don't you?
I know, yeah, but I'm saying, like, he sees Sekka's Light game 1, and now my opponent set the card. I'm terrified. Oh, I guess he does have Delusion as well. Yeah,
so we're bringing back the Delusion on this one. Quite good, actually. Delusion will give a disruption here.
Yeah.
Maybe take the Nibiru token.
Oh! Yeah, that might be the way to go for game, right? Like, what if you can...
I mean, taking the Nibiru token and attacking over the Dark Arm Dragon of Annihilation would be...
definitely enough.
Yeah, well enough.
Well enough, as we established. But I think Delusion needs opponents to do something, right?
It needs to be an Earth monster, which is exactly why we've had to go into the Fusion monster now to turn it all into Earth. And then, sorry, they do need you...
Yeah, they need to activate a card effect, yeah. So I don't think that's happening actually from Nolan here, so he will still need to find a way of outing the Nibiru token.
Yeah, I think the only way we add that Nibiru token is going into the Flux.
Or Light Dragon Ignister, if you can establish.
Yes, if you can get 2 4s, very true.
We haven't used the guy yet, the level 7.
No, we haven't.
The card of a very long name. So we might...
Conduction Magnet Warrior, Sigma minus something.
Yes, too many times. But we're going to be seeing him fusing into the Flux. Flux gets reborn here.
Yeah.
And that might be our way into getting to rank 4. Yeah, Guardian, insurance policy, never know.
Well, you just return. You could technically return the Guardian to the... No, we normally summon the beta, didn't we?
No, on the beta, yeah. Can we get into rank 4 here? I guess that is the question. We have Veiler and Bell in hand. We need to out the token.
I think the Flux is the out to the token. The question, I don't think there's enough.
There's not enough damage here. The thing is, like, if it goes back to Nolan, he just special summon Dragon Ruler, special summon Dragon Ruler, special summon Dragon Ruler.
Yeah. I mean, we still have the Bell and the Veiler. I think it just needs...
it's so weird. Oh, yeah, he can't out the... Oh, so they're not big enough to beat over, so... I think they know they're near time. Nolan seems to be going pretty fast. Oh, draws a second light for a turn. So I'm looking at that background. I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah. Good, but baited.
Okay. We are going to go for an explosive finish here. They are Earth monsters, so we can't use Shina. And that's a Lava Golem.
That gets rid of the 2 disruptions that you need to worry about.
Yeah. So now there's 2 unknowns in hand.
So there's Bell and Effect Veiler in hand that obviously Nolan doesn't know. He's going to try and move as fast as he can.
Yeah.
Alex will probably interact at the point where they're going to be the most effective, but those Veiler and that Ghost Bell were in the hand of the previous turn as well, and they never got used. So
yeah, the XYZ here is really threatening, right? Because Disaster could be a way of getting rid. We do go for Eclipse.
He's conceded.
And Alan's conceding because
fair play. He saw the writing on the wall.
Very fair play from